Hello, fellow YouTubers, Facebookers, Instagrammers. I'm still getting used to this. Here I am, back hanging out in my bed as I'm taking a break from at home school learning today. My son and I have been working on a few assignments, but sitting on lovely hard chairs is always so awesome for somebody that has a back injury. What do you know? So today I want to let you know a little bit more about what's going on my end. So about 2.5, close to 3 years ago now, I caught my son, who is now almost 4, or who is 4 now, I should say, jumping out of his high chair. And when I caught him, my body was straight forward, but my upper body, so my hips and pelvis were straight forward, but my upper body turned to the right. And when I caught him, I felt something pop. Just something wasn't right in my low back. I was actually on my way to work at the time at a different practice. I lay down on the ground. I did a few stretches before I got in my car, and I was like, okay. I got to work, and I basically couldn't get out of my vehicle. So that was awesome. I get into work, and I'm working with everybody there, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. I just felt a pop. Every movement caused a sharp, excruciating pain into my low back. At that point, at least a week, I could barely do anything. I couldn't turn in bed without horrible pain. I couldn't lift my, again, middle's child now, without pain. It was excruciating. It was horrible. And, that was 1 week of really horrible pain. But then it took me a good 6 months or more to really get back to feeling decent. And that was because I injured a disc. So, a disc in your low back, and I'll show more on this later, but a disc is the cushion in between each vertebrae. So, it's basically like your shock absorption in your vehicle. But what could happen is you can bulge discs, you can herniate discs, you can tear discs, you can just straight up injure a disc or the end plate that sits above and below each disc. And they can cause excruciating pain, because we call it discogenic pain. It's something unreal. It's something very deep and burrowing. It's coming straight from your spine. Now, that disc, of course, depending on if it's bulged or herniated, can press upon your spinal cord, can press upon nerves exiting your spinal cord, and can cause further pain. Now, at that time, I never had an MRI or anything like that, as I worked with quite a few chiropractors, and testing wise, we distinguished it was a disc injury. Now, whether I bulged it or herniated it, at that time, we didn't know. We took x-rays. All we could see from the x-rays was that some of my discs looked what we call desiccated. So they weren't fully plumped with the liquid and hydration that they need to continue to support your spine. So starting that degenerative process. Now, what do you know? I'm a chiropractor and I'm getting degeneration. Really? Oh, it was horrible to hear. But, you got to think of all the years of wear and tear. I played collegiate sports, 2 of them. I ran millions of miles and played soccer, so rotating my hips and low back quite often. I probably have just been building upon this, and that one little significant move, threw it over the edge. Now, what I did at that time to heal, of course, was the chiropractic adjustments. I was doing decompression, icing, heating as needed, exercises, stretches when I was able to do them. I am not a person that likes to take pain medications and things like that, so I try to avoid that at all costs, but sometimes I had to do it. Now, fast forward, and 2.5, 3 years later. Plus, I dealt with Lyme disease, and that we can talk more on as well. But Lyme disease in itself can inhibit the healing process. It causes inflammation in the body, and it reacts with other inflammation that your body takes on with any new injury, as well as foods we eat, stresses. So stress, number one for Lyme disease, is miserable. When I have a stressful day, I will tell you what, my Lyme disease symptoms are horrible. I've seen and I've heard people are far worse, but for a working mother of now 3 children, it's hard. It's hard to keep that brain moving. And now this. So, what I did here. Sorry, I was going to take a sip of water. Hydrate those discs. What I did now, July, I believe is like the 13th or 17th. I was at my in-laws. We were at the lake. I woke up in the morning. Probably 2 weeks prior to that, I started to feel some stiffness increase in my low back. I'm sure with pregnancy and then getting back into work again so quickly and adjusting quite a few patients. I kind of anticipated some of that to come, as I probably wasn't taking the best care of my own health. But then, yes, the 13th or 17th, I actually just bent over to flush the toilet. Yes, flush the toilet. And I had this excruciating zing just across my whole entire low back. I couldn't breathe. I knew just deep down that I did it again, or I injured something again, or maybe even worse at this point. I'm sure stress of pregnancy on a spine, or a third pregnancy now, and then continuing to work that whole time, it's not good for it. I I felt okay for about 2 days. That third day came along and I was in pain. I couldn't even think anymore. I couldn't function. I wasn't eating very well because I was so stressed. With that stress, increased my Lyme disease symptoms. I started getting brain fog quite a bit heavily again. Started getting hip ache really badly again. And I went to the ER, and I had a muscle relaxant given to me, a pain reliever, and then of course they sent me home, which wasn't what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear them tell me more, or let's do this, let's take an MRI. But that wasn't it. Look forward to another 2 weeks. And I did it again. I was putting my sock on and I felt that zing. That zing was miserable. Holy, like I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it, because it was horrible to feel that such deep, deep burrowing pain in your core, and it just radiates everywhere. I didn't know what to do. I called my husband. I'm like, I need to go in again. I can't breathe. I can't function. It was me and baby. He was at the lake with the boys. I was like, I need to go in. So I went in, and here we are in the healing process. And today is one of those one step back kind of days. I'm on the video, please. I'm just not having an all around great feeling day. I'm very, very stiff. I think the change of weather hasn't helped that at all. I need you to be quiet. I'm recording a video, please. Change of weather, yeah. Whoo. Goes from, 80s to 30s this morning. I was feeling it. But I, again, keep pushing forward. It's been difficult and been hard. Nicholas, please.
What?
I need you to either move or...
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, kiddos. They're around all the time, which is great and awesome, but to get a little me time, sometimes you gotta lock the door. Again, I'll tell you more. I'll just leave it at that. Right now, I have a low back disc injury again, and I'm working on nursing it back to health, but this time I know it's going to be harder. It's going to be more work. It's probably going to take more time. That four-letter word that everybody hates, and especially doctors. We sometimes are the worst patients. So, I will keep you posted. I will tell you a little bit more about the journey and what I've done so far and where I'm going from here. Thank you all for watching.